Hey guys, happy midday. I hope everybody's doing amazing. So today I'm here with the lovely Monique Spalding, and we're doing our Black Women in Business series where we interview everyday Black women about some of the struggles and the obstacles that they have in business, some of them which are just par for the course. They come with being a business owner. And some of these struggles are indicative of our culture and our especially for Black women. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into the conversation. And today we're going to be talking about why it is critical that you make profit a focus in your business. So, Monique, if you could introduce yourself, that would be great.
Hello, everyone. I am Monique Spalding, and I am part of the Free Women Grant Project with Coach Winningham. And I'm so honored to be here with you today, and it's a great pleasure to be on this platform.
Very good. Thank you. And guys, today we're going to be talking about why profit is a mandatory. Knowledge is power. And a lot of times I know me, things that I don't like or things that I'm not comfortable with or things that make me nervous, I tend to avoid them. What do you think about that, Monique? Do you tend to avoid the things that are hard or the things that make you nervous?
Well, I tend to shy away from them. I'm so honored that you're doing everything with all this technology and StreamYard and just being so professional on your Facebook Live, Coach. But yes, I do tend to stream away and shy away from things that might be a little bit difficult.
And for some of us as business owners, that is our profits. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing my eighth annual profit planning session tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can grab your ticket for only $39 at bit.ly/red, white, green. Because I know me personally, let's talk about my personal finances. When I first went through a divorce and was really struggling with the kids, I know it was more often than not that I didn't even look at my bank account because I didn't want to see what was over there. Have you ever gone through that, Monique?
Yes, most definitely, especially reconciling your bank account.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And D Moore said if it doesn't come easy to me, I may have to be pushed. And that's the same with all of us. Good afternoon, Vicky, guys. Good afternoon, Sharonda. If you haven't shared the broadcast already, share the broadcast because I think that we need to know that it's not our fault that we're not comfortable with money. If you take away my 16 years working at the bank, I'd have a totally different mindset about money, but especially with how we was raised. Like, what was the number one saying, Monique, that your mother had or your grandmother had about money when you was growing up?
Well, actually, I was not educated on about money, Coach, by my parents or my grandparents at all. So, I am at a disadvantage, and that's why I have registered. I registered last week for your profit class, so I'll be on there with you tomorrow night.
But see, mine, they didn't educate us, but they had these sayings like money don't grow on trees. How many
Okay,
of
yes.
y'all mama or grandmama said that?
Yeah, I have heard that money don't grow on trees.
And then, oh, my grandmama. I don't know what that light company was charging her, but baby, you thought they was charging her everything. Cause she used to hate cutting that air conditioning on. And if it was on, you better not be in and out that house. Cause she gonna tell you either gonna get in or you I don't know. I know I'm not the only one that had a grandmama. Everything ran up her light bill. You need to come inside this house, quit fanning that door. You run up my light bill. Close that refrigerator door. You run up my light bill. Stop trying to dry just one shirt. You run up my light bill. As a matter of fact, my grandmother had a brand new dryer that we could not use. We had to hang clothes on the line. And the only time you could use that dryer is not only if it was raining, but if it was raining for days and days and days in a row. My grandma would even hang clothes in the house before she would put clothes in the dryer. She used her dryer for storage.
Well, my grandmother, actually, my mother gave my grandmother the money for a washer and dryer. She bought the washer, but she never bought the dryer. So I spent many a day hanging clothes outside in the backyard on the clothesline.
And let me tell you, we were in Tennessee. So what would happen to us is we would hang clothes outside on the line, and we had rows and rows and rows of clotheslines. And because we were in Tennessee, it would rain in the afternoon almost every afternoon. We would have to run out there, grab the clothes off the line, bring them inside till it stopped raining, and then go back out there in the heat of the day. Now, keep in mind, it done rained a little bit. Keep in mind, it's so humid. Girl, you could cut a knife with the humidity. And we would be right back out there in that humidity, hanging up them doggone clothes. And I used to be like, why? Just put these clothes in the dryer. And I don't know about y'all grandma, but my grandma was so frugal. My grandma used to make stew once a week. I'm gonna tell y'all this story, and then Monique, you tell me the story. The cheapest story you know about your grandmother, your mother. My grandmother used to take all the leftovers from the week. I don't care if it was lima beans, corn, black beans, pinto beans, and by Wednesday or Thursday, she'll make a stew. And she'll throw all them, you liable to find anything in that stew. Come on, DePaul, you liable to find anything in that stew. If it was leftover hamburger helper, it's going in the stew. Pasta, potatoes, stew. Corn, green beans, and I hate stew to this day for that very reason.
Well, my grandmother
like nothing.
Coach, my grandmother did the same thing. It was actually called potluck, and my mother did the same thing too. And you better not throw out no leftovers that's in the refrigerator, because they wanted to use them to actually make a dinner, to make a meal, to stretch it and go for a mile. I remember growing up making mayonnaise sandwiches just to, have a meal, the Hellmann's mayonnaise, and just get a slice of bread and put some mayonnaise on there, and not just one slice of bread. You wouldn't actually have a full sandwiches by using 2 slices of bread. You just get a piece of bread and put some mayonnaise on there, and you had to do a meal. I mean, I grew up in the city of Chicago, and so it was really tough. My mother worked, my grandmother worked very hard. My grandmother was actually a janitor at a public school, and she would always, she was ashamed of the fact that she was a janitor, and she would tell us to tell people that she was a kindergarten teacher. So for a long time, I grew up thinking that she was a teacher, because she worked at a school, until I found out the truth. But we definitely had some tough times growing up, and needed to learn about profit and prosperity.
And look, let me tell you something. Everybody's commenting in the chat. Cece said her mama called it goulash. My grandmama did too. Goulash is when you just put everything in the pot. And D. Morris said putting water in the lotion bottle and shaking it up to get the rest of the lotion out of there. We used to take a little vinegar and put it in the ketchup bottle. And that's how you get the rest of the ketchup bottle. And then I remember my grandmother making Thousand Island dressing with ketchup and mayonnaise. Exactly. Look, hey, Auntie Helen. Exactly. See, adding water to the ketchup bottle. Couldn't waste nothing.
Yes, we did that too. Adding water to the ketchup bottle and just shaking it up and making it. It almost looked like red water, after you got finished with it after a while.
And you hated that. You hated that. And this is the thing. We didn't understand, and we didn't have this is why I get so angry at Black women nowadays, because my grandmother didn't have the earning potential. My mother didn't have the earning potential. If there was no jobs, it was no jobs. If it was no way to make money, it was no way to make money. And here we sit with the internet and the opportunity to make millions of dollars, and yet we don't do it out of something called fear. My grandma didn't have a chance to be afraid. My mother didn't have a chance to be afraid. They had to do whatever they had to do to make it. And so at the end of the day, we got to stop being so afraid to make this money that's so prevalent. Teacher said, cut the bottom off the toothpaste roll and get it out. We used to do, baby, we didn't waste nothing went in the trash. We are so wasteful now. You know, I had some cornbread I made the other day, 2 different pans, and I put them in a Ziploc bag, and I was gonna make some dressing today, and Tyler came along, he was like, I threw it away because it was old. No, you need old cornbread to make dressing. They don't understand that everything has a place. Nothing gets thrown away. And this is why I keep trying to help Black women understand, and this is something we're going to do in tomorrow night's profit planning session, is that when it comes to making a profit, you've got to stretch yourself. Go to bit.ly/, bit.ly/red, white, green. Yep, Shop Blues, we can see your comments. You just have to put them up. bit.ly/red, white, and green profit planning session tomorrow night, because we've got to understand we don't have any limits on our profit.
Yes, that is true. And then you had mentioned earlier about the fear, and I just wanted to comment and say, when you broke, Coach, you don't have time to be afraid. You know, you have to break through that fear and tear that down. And so I'm so excited to be a part tomorrow.
And not only that, we've got to understand that we've got to choose our fear. Somebody look at your neighbor and say, choose. You got to choose your fear. Are you most afraid of being broke or somebody talking about you? Are you most afraid of being broke or maybe not getting it right the first time? What are you most afraid of? Because we've let fear steal our abundance, our money, our riches, our opportunity. Don't blame it on racism. Don't blame it on other people having more opportunity than you. We know these things exist. But that internet is a game changer. And if you're not out there learning everything you can about this ability to be able to change the trajectory of you and your family, then you need to be. Stop being so worried about messing something up. You're going to mess some stuff up. That's life.
Yes, it is, Coach. Yes, it is. And one of the members of your team invited me over a year ago to come to your BYOB show. And when I saw it, I just didn't do anything. And it took me a whole year of watching her go forth in her business and her certifications with you and everything. And now she's up and running and moving and doing great things in her own organization, in her own business. And I'm just now getting started. If I had did something last year, I might be a little far along, but I'm determined that I'm not going to hold back or wait any longer.
And guys, I want to ask you, how many of you on here right now have had an opportunity to work with me in the past and you said, I can't afford it? Or you had an opportunity to work with me in the past and you didn't take advantage of it? And it's women out there to this day, and they don't all give me credit. They don't all give me credit, but it's been some women that really were able to change their trajectory and do something different by working with me. And I've been doing this for a long time. And I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. So everybody's got to understand that you need to get help. So can I ask you a question? What was it that took you so long to come?
I want to tell you know, Coach. I know you are a licensed ordained minister, and I want to tell you it was mindset. And then the enemy, I'm Christian as well, and the enemy blinding and my mind. When I saw BYOB, I had the wrong mindset. I was thinking of the world, bring your own bottle. And I was like, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in that. Bring your own bottle. I'm not interested in that. And so I never participated. I never clicked on the link. And then I want to say right before COVID-19 hit, I was on Facebook, just scrolling through, and another Facebook friend was broadcasting the BYOB show. It was the midnight show. And I clicked on the link and realized that one of your team members was also on live, and I recognized her. She was on one of the panelists. So I went over to her Facebook page because I wanted her to see my comments that I was actually on. And so when I clicked on the link, then the light hit my mind that it was not BYOB, bring your own bottle. It was build your own business, you know. And I'm just like, oh my God, I've been blinded this whole time. And so I just began to sign up for your notifications. I get your notifications when you go live and things of that nature, and started chiming in. I'm registered for everything. When I say I'm registered for everything, I'm registered for the prophet class. I'm registered for the Bob Black and Pink. I'm registered for the boot camp. You know, I'm determined that I am not going to miss out.
And good for you guys. And if you haven't registered already for tomorrow's profit planning class, so that you can see the opportunities, it's only $39. It's normally $199, but I really want people to get the opportunity to see what you can do, what you're capable of. The sky is the limit. And one thing we've got to stop saying is that we can't afford it. Helen said, I had an opportunity, but I couldn't afford it. But the truth of the matter is, you can afford a lot if you put your mind to it. You've got to find a way. You've got to find a way. You've got to make a way. Because if you don't, guess whose life hangs in the balance? If you don't, guess whose generational wealth is in question? And you got to be careful, because the enemy is super busy. There's things that he's going to blind you to that he knows is going to change your life. It's going to change the way you do business. So you've got to be open to saying, okay, God, maybe not within me, but possibly within you. And knowing that none of this is because of you anyway. Where there's a will, there's always a way. We as women, especially Black women, have gotten so bad that we don't ask. We don't ask people.
Exactly, Coach. And not only that, but we as women, especially Black women, we will find a way to get the money for the things we want and to do and afford to buy. You know, we'll get our hair done, our nails done, our pedicures. We'll get those Michael Kors bags and the wallets and everything to go with it. You know, but when it comes time to building a business or investing in coaching and mentorship, then all of a sudden we can't afford it. You know, our hand goes up like, oh my God, you know, I can't do that. That's too much money or whatever. And the nuggets and the training and just the access to you. I mean, this is a high touch opportunity. This is one-on-one access to you is just phenomenal. It is just no price tag alone, you know, could put the cost of being able to learn from you one-on-one and to receive what you have to teach us. And so it's just definitely worth it. And for $39, I mean, come on. You know, that is just phenomenal. You just can't miss this opportunity.
I agree. I agree so much because I put so many years of being able to make millions of dollars into that profit planning session. And sometimes you don't know what you don't know. Well, all the time, you don't know what you don't know. And until somebody spells it out to you in writing, on the calculator, dollars and cents, 2 + 2 is 4, you will continue to miss it. And the money might be right there. So many women I see tripping over dollars to get the nickels and dimes. And I'm like, how sad that you won't humble yourself and get an education. The Bible says in all of your getting, get an understanding. So you can't go make money if you don't have an understanding. And the Bible talks about wise counsel and that there being safety in a bevy of counsel. So not just having one expert, but I hire multiple experts because I know that if this man over here can make $1 million and if this man over here can make $1 million, you can't tell me I can't. Somebody may say I can, because you absolutely can. And sometimes it's only a couple of twists and turns into what you're already doing. Number one, understanding that you are worth it. You got to understand that piece.
Most definitely worth it. And Coach, the Bible also says, and this is one of my favorite ones, that my people perish for a lack of knowledge. For lack of
knowledge, absolutely.
You know, and so, you know, so many of us know that the Lord can do it, God can do it, and, you know, he can do it and he will do it, you know, but he wants us to sit down and get an education. He wants us to sit down and get some training. All these years, I'm retired military, so, you know, I know what it is to go through hard training and to press through and things of that nature, but there's still some areas that I have weaknesses in, that I know that you're going to mentor me and I'm going to become better in those areas. And that's another reason why I signed up for the profit planning course on tomorrow.
Yep, bit.ly/red, white, green. Get your ticket for only $39. And D. Morris said he wants us to do some of it. He said that. He said faith without works. But if you look at Deuteronomy 8:18, he said you have the power to create. That means the wealth is not going to be dropped off on your doorstep. The wealth is not going to come sliding out the sky. The wealth is not going to just miraculously appear. You're going to have to create. Our Father is a creator. He said he made us in his image. That means we have the ability. I did a workshop called Thin Air Thousands. And it was basically about how to take your own gifts and your own talents to create what you don't have. There's never a situation where you can't afford. Everything is a choice. The same way I catered my kids' way through private school, the same way I've hustled my kids' way through college, God gave me access to anything that I want in the kingdom. So if I say I want to pay for my children's tuition, I want to buy them cars, I want to buy them houses when they graduate, as long as I make that my goal and do my work, he's going to continue to put the people in my path that make that possible. But had I not invested in mentors, had I not invested in experts, had I not invested in people who had done it before, I wouldn't be where I am.
Exactly, Coach.
Ask yourself.
Exactly, Coach. And then as a people of color, we have to stop this mentality and idea that everything is supposed to be free, that everybody's supposed to give you a handout, you know, and just make everything free for you. You know, you're going to have to do some type of investing. And I've looked into other coaches and things of that nature, just to see about coaching, not to, just curious, because in the Free Women Grant Program, I'm getting certified through you in one of the program certifications there. And people are charging $25,000 just to sign up to be mentored by some of these people. And here we have the opportunity to get a profit planning seminar for $39. Come on now.
I think a lot of times people look at price and think price means better. But I can tell you, in some of those $25,000 mentorships, they don't even show you how to build a business. You walk away with a certification and you can't buy a client. You can't launch a business online. You don't know how to set up your pricing. Or they make you think you got to charge an absurd amount of money that you're not confident charging. And so you go out there feeling not only bereft, but feeling less than, and then you don't do it. So they don't equip you. You got to make sure that when you're going to invest, you're going to be equipped. So tomorrow's profit planning session is going to equip you that every single month you have the faculties and the capacity to sit down and write you up a profit plan. How many business owners here right now do not have a written profit plan? And a written profit plan is not just, I'm going to write down this number. It's how are you going to generate that level of revenue? And I'm going to tell y'all one more thing. We got to stop being afraid of money. Amen.
Amen, Coach. And I just have to be honest and say that I don't have a written profit plan. And so I'm going to be in there taking copious notes and learning and not just saying I'm going to try to do it or that I'm here getting the information, but I'm actually going to put it to practice and implement it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the core. That is the core. That's the truth of the matter, is that when it's all said and done, not only are you going to have the knowledge, but what are you going to do with this knowledge? So many of us have knowledge that we don't do anything with. We know how to bake cakes, but we ain't selling not one cake. We know how to decorate for weddings, but we not doing not one wedding decoration. We know how to do stuff, but we won't do it. And then when it gets bad out here, we say, oh Lord, why is it so bad? And God's telling you, well, I already gave you. I done gave you what you need to save yourself. Why aren't you using it? I've given you the tools to be able to afford help. Why aren't you using it? I've given you the skills to be, and what it boils down to, we're so busy, worried about what people are going to say.
And we're busy in the wrong areas, Coach. Sometimes we have to actually take an evaluation of our friendships, where our monies and our energies are going to, and actually channel them and switch them to go into the right area.
Oh, you know what? We said that last night. Sometimes on your trip to the next level, you got to throw some stuff overboard. And sometimes some people, amen?
Amen.
Sometimes you got to throw that person that's in your ear talking negative overboard. Sometimes you need to throw your job where you're investing all your time and energy. I don't mean quit the job. I mean quit your dedication to a job that's not your generational wealth. Quit your dedication to things that are not your legacy. You can show up every Friday for happy hour with your partner. When are you going to be able to show up Monday through Friday for your business?
Exactly, Coach. And in actuality, I actually have opportunity to work in the marketplace, but I chose not to work to build and be in sessions, be in coaching training, be on the webinars, be on the Zoom calls, to invest into my business, to learn what I need to learn, to get educated so I can stop being the employee and actually be the employer. So I can stop, as you said in one of your other presentations, stop being a one-man CEO, and actually it's time to get yourself a team. A team of people to work with you. And so it's just time to be educated nowadays, especially during this pandemic. Even before the pandemic, the government had that furlough, that shutdown, where people were losing their homes and things of that nature. We can no longer put our trust in these areas. We have to start building an online business or online through your coaching, and how to build an online business and getting the tools to go forth for our own and to be financially prosperous and financially secure. Freedom Weekend just passed, but who's really free in their finances? We celebrated Independence Day, but who's really free?
Well, I didn't celebrate it because it's not my independence. My Independence Day is March 30th, and that's the day I walked off of man's work for the last time. See, we got to understand that not doing man's work is not going to starve you. It's not doing kingdom work that's going to starve you. Man's work ain't going to never make you rich. But when you take care of the people in the kingdom, God's going to take care of you. And one thing you guys will see is that there's a book by Simon Sinek called Leaders Eat Last. And every time you see me with my clients. Every time you see me with the people around me that have made me millions of dollars. Why? Because I know I didn't do this by myself. So giving honor to God and then honoring the people around me who believed in me before I made my first million, who believed in me when I was wearing bad wigs and just had a dream and a hypothesis and really just out here working on how it was going to work. So at the end of the day, all of us need to take stock in why we don't have everything that the kingdom is offering us.
Most definitely. The kingdom, and then, that's why the Lord Jesus Christ suffered and died, that we would be prosperous. That we would have the blessing of Abraham, that we would, be prosperous and go forth in the kingdom. In order to be able to do kingdom work, you can't do kingdom work, bro. All the vision and plans that he's given us and churches and ministries and outreaches and things of that nature, you can't do that, bro.
But nor does he expect you to. See, the first level to me in ascending to kingdom abundance is the belief. He is crystal clear that the belief, the faith, that's the level one. And you speak that out of your mouth, right? We underestimate the power of what we say. So, there's a book that says, as a man thinketh, so is he. Yeah. I think it's by James Allen. So when you say, I can't afford it, you just confirmed it. If you say you can or you say you can't, either way, you're right. I heard people tell me I can't afford $39. I've been in some rough situations. But at the same time, if my child said I need $39 to go on this field trip tomorrow, I would find it. If my man said I need $39 to stay out of jail, I'm going to find it. So us as women have got to stop finding the resources to move everybody else ahead. If your best friend called and asked you for $39, you would not dare say you don't have it. If your church asked that you sow a seed of $39, you would not dare not sow that seed. But when it comes to us and doing for ourselves, what makes us think that we're not worthy? What makes us think that we should not sow the seed in ourselves when, to be honest with you, we the best ground we got sometimes.
Exactly, exactly. We have to invest in ourselves, and you giving us this great opportunity to be on your platform and just to learn from you and to grow and be educated. This is a great opportunity. No one should pass this by.
You know, you have to at some point say to yourself, I've given it all to my job. I've given it all to my relationship. I've given it all to my kids, my church, my community. When am I going to give it all to myself so that I can turn around and give even more to my church, even more to my community, even more to my family? What we're giving them right now is crumbs because we won't be still enough and invest in the tools we need to bake loaves of bread. We taking a loaf of bread and busting it down instead of saying, okay, let me invest in the right stove and the right pan. Let me invest in some flour and some yeast so that I can keep making the bread that's going to move us to the next level. At some point, guys, you've got to say to yourself, what I'm doing, it ain't working.
Yes,
And that is
Coach.
the hardest thing. Monique, I'm going to let you talk about that. To me, that's one of the hardest things to admit.
Yeah, Coach, I just want you to know that in order to be able to invest in coaching, I took on not one job, but two jobs. I took on a graveyard shift job working in a warehouse, and then I would get off that job and come home and sleep for about 3 hours. And then I had to go report to the day job, and I worked that job for about 5 hours. And then I would come home and sleep 3 hours and get up again for the night job. Now, I did that for, I want to say about 3 weeks. And it was never intended. I didn't do it for it to be a life plan. But what I did do, the reason why I did it is because I needed the money to be able to invest in my coaching. And so when they reached out to me last week and wanted to know if I would be interested in a job, I had to make a decision. I said, am I going to continue to do this, or am I going to? I had already signed up and applied for the grant program and signed up for the profit planning course and things of that nature. And even though it's in the evening, I could have taken a day job. But during the day, I need to be educating myself. I need to be on the Zoom calls. I need to be learning, reading, in the journal, in the Women Free Grant program. You've given us homework that we need to be doing. And I said, I can't do both. And I told the Lord, I had a conversation with Jesus. And I said, Jesus, I cannot do both. I need to make a decision. And my decision is I'm going to get educated to work my business. And so I made that decision, and I know that as soon as I've made that decision and actually put works to my faith, then he is going to show up for me.
And what we got to realize too is that jobs are like buses. They come and go.
Yes, they do. They do. As soon as they don't need you anymore, you are gone.
I'm hearing so many stories of women getting called in and out of nowhere jobs letting them go. And that time, that opportunity you should have, could have, would have taken advantage of, you missing out on that opportunity. So don't miss this profit planning session because it's more than just putting numbers on paper. It is your opportunity to come up with a vision for where money is inanimate. People think money is evil. It's not. In the hands of somebody good, money is good. In the hands of somebody evil, money is evil. Money doesn't have a spirit, a soul. It's just a thing. It's a tool.
Yes,
and if when you have tools at your access, you have the ability to change the world. Yes, and we've got to stop fighting without tools. That's why we're left to so many different people's devices because we don't have the political tools to fight. We don't have the financial tools to fight. We don't have the wealth We don't have the abundance. We don't have what it takes to actually get out there and change things. So the more of us that leverage our spending power and our buying power to really make a difference, that's when you're going to start to see a difference in the world. We can't wait on everybody else to want to make a difference for us. We got to want to make a difference for ourselves, and we do have that power. So I want to thank you, Monique, for taking time to spend with me today, guys. If you haven't already, go on to bit.ly/red, white, and green to join us for tomorrow's profit plan session. Make sure you do sow a seed in yourself. It's going to be time well spent. You're going to get to know your earning potential. And I think once, I think it was Thomas Jefferson that said, once the mind is expanded by a new idea, it cannot return to its original shape. Some of us need to expand our horizons. And once you start to see what you're actually capable of, the sky's the limit. Love you guys. Have a good afternoon. Thank you, Monique.
Thank you, Coach.